Hi everyone, welcome back to the Potsmoker's Bible. My name is Zion. I'm the author of the Potsmoker's Bible, which contains the prophetic book of Zion, where I get my name and authority. It comes from the Ketuvim, or Old Testament, of the Christian Bible. I use the King James Version because he is my great 19th, 20th uncle. Okay, he's family. And that's important, especially to this episode. Because this episode I'm telling you about our society, why it was created the way it was created, how it was created and the way it was created, and where it's going. Very important stuff. Now, as I've told you in prior episodes, our genetic makeup comes from the low lives of the Neanderthals. The worst of the worst that they had to offer in their society, they gave to the gray, and the gray made them into us. So, when we were isolated, they decided to create a society that would be designed specifically to purge us of all of our baser instincts. By purging, we are allowed to display it. It comes out. It is allowed to be acted upon without recourse. And that's what Christianity is. Free for all. Because Christ gives you the ability to sin without recourse. Christianity created a society that believes it can do whatever it wants without worrying about the consequences. That has led us exactly to where we are. And it was done on purpose. Because only in doing so, only by allowing our basest instinct to come out, would those of us who have good in us be allowed to be separated from the rest of society. So, because 99% of what we are is crap, they created a society that let us do whatever we wanted without thought of consequence, so that all of our baser instincts would come into play and play themselves out to their fullest extent. Only by doing so would the good in us be either totally annihilated or be sequestered, separated, put aside, nurtured by those of us capable of feeling it. The Watchers were there to ensure that things didn't get out of hand, that we survived. So every time we would start advancing enough to hurt ourselves, they would block it. Every time, they just manipulated us to bring out our worst instincts, to play those out, and to purge us of them. So, because most of our genetics are crap, most of us are crap. The projection is that 2/3 of this society will not survive the purge. The third that does survive, however, will have isolated their goodness enough to nurture it in a new environment so that we can purge what remains and become the best that we can be. We're not there yet. We're not even starting. That's what this is, the beginning. Okay? So, this is what happened. In order to safeguard our genetics, we were isolated. In order to keep us from destroying ourselves through telepathy, because that's powerful shit, our ability to use telepathy was hampered. Now, marijuana is the key to telepathy. It comes from the Greys' home planet, long ago annihilated. They brought it with them. They've transplanted it here, created a hybrid of their original marijuana type plant that would thrive here on Earth. They also brought in the sister plant, hemp, because it's so useful for other things. It's just so useful. But anyway, so hemp and marijuana were brought from their homeworld. Marijuana has always been used for telepathic humanity. The priests are telepaths. The priestesses are telepaths. Marijuana is the means by which that telepathy is nurtured and maintained. So, in order to safeguard us from the powerful effects of marijuana, marijuana was submerged. It was submerged, but still used in certain places, and other drug-related shamanistic practices were isolated and maintained, one of which was the ancient Druidic line, of which I come. Now, in the pre-flood age, there were two distinct lines of communication between gray and human. The priestesses and the priests. The yin and the yang, the male and the female. Always been that way. Always will be that way. As long as there's two sexes, there will always be two. Okay? They had equal, but in order to bring out the worst, which were carried by the male genes, the violence, all that stuff, all the things that men do, that was allowed to come out to nurture that badder parts of us that the males had clung to. The high and mighty, I'm a guy, I got a dick, so I rule. Yeah, right. That's a fucking joke if you ever thought of it. Anyway, sorry. So, my ancestors, the priestesses, became the druids. I descend from the ancient high priestess of the druidic line. I am a Hunt. I come from England, from Ireland, from the ancient seat of the druidic priest line. I am Bryn Hines. Literally, my name is from the ancient druid. Bryn Hines, and that's who I am. And I reinstitute the ancient priesthood, the use of marijuana, to communicate and become telepathic. Now, my story was foretold by the male line in the Bible. The book of Isaiah tells my story. And I am adopted into the family of Abraham by the prophecy, reuniting the ancient priests and priestesses, reinstituting the ancient religious practices. But it's not about religion. It's never been about religion. It's about actual communication between species. The priests were interpreters. They worked with and for the aliens to communicate for humanity. And that's what we're going to be doing in the future. We are the ancient priests. We will reinstitute the ancient practice of human-alien contact after the purge. And this is the purge, what we're going through right now. So, society, through the use of money, has allowed us to become the worst of the worst that we can be in order to isolate the best of the best of us. And those of us are the potheads. Everybody else is a Trumpian. So, you got a choice to make. Are you going to follow the society in its fall? Or are you going to follow the new heaven and earth of Zion, of the prophecy? Because everything I'm telling you comes from this. And from those who wrote this. So, our society, through the use of money and the sacrifice of Christ, which forgives you of your sins without having to actually pay for them, well, that is exactly how we were purged. By we, I mean everybody who's found their way to the tree of life, marijuana, and associated drugs that go with it. All of those who follow the way of society, who follow mammon or money, yeah, it's like follow Trump. Follow, well, it's too late. Trump is about to fall, as was always the case. As he falls, I rise. It's always been the way it was supposed to be. It's always been the way it is, and it's always the way it's going to be. That's why I'm here right now. I want you to know something. Trump was elected by the Gray, put into power while I was sitting out my foreordained prison sentence. Because when I went to prison, the prophecy was set. I had already established myself as Zion in a court of law as per prophetic verse. It was done. That's why Trump was allowed to become the president. Because his presidency is the materialization of the prophetic events. When the Greys instituted his presidency, the end times judgment was set and is acted out. Black Lives Matter is the result, and Black Lives Matter is the beginning of the Zionite people. It's done. We've been purged. If you're in the streets because of George Floyd's death, you have purged the evil from your soul. Be you white, black, red, brown, orange, or polka dotted. Doesn't matter. If you believe Black Lives Matter, you're Zionite. Doesn't matter if you're a Hindu, Muslim, or Christian, or Jew. You're Zionite. You've been purged. Because you see the evil of this society. And you're willing to stand up to it. You're my people. I fought long and hard to give us the opportunity to survive. And your being in the streets proves that I've succeeded. Now, Trump has done everything that he was set up to do. I instituted that on May 25th, 2015, when I read from the book of Isaiah to establish myself as Zion. I set the prophecy in motion. If I had not done that, Trump would not be in the White House right now. As he was being elected, I was finalizing the Book of Zion, as foretold. Immediately after getting back from prison, when I came back here to my Babylon, I immediately started working towards publication, because that was the last thing I had to do. And the other day I finished publishing. It's on YouTube. You want to read it? Go. It's where you find it. So until the next time, may the Grey watch over you, guide you, protect you, keep you from all harm, and teach you right from wrong. May you be worthy of them, not the other way around. May your thoughts, words, and deeds reflect truth, good, and light, the unicorn way. Be the joy. Spread the joy. Find your true joy. Stay happy and high if you do drugs, because you deserve it. Love you. Later, because I'll never say goodbye.